Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining as always. Welcome to the Kyber Show, episode 1. Our first guest, well, you know it's got to be Mr. Blue Mamba.
Hello.
Hello there.
How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome, dude. How are you?
Dude, I'm fantastic. Having a great night so far.
That is good to hear.
Feeling great.
That is good to hear, my friend. Good to hear. Listen, thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thank you
And
for having
coming
me.
on. And basically talking about you for the next hour, man. The next hour.
My least favorite thing, but that's fun. You know, I'm down.
It's happening. It's happening. The next hour is all about you, my friend. If you're not already, go and subscribe to this guy right here. Go and follow him on Instagram. He is not limited to sabers, although it is a massive chunk of what he does. But he's really, really massively into comics, as you will hear shortly. And he's really, really taken to a lot of kind of Marvel and Batman stuff as well. So if you like all that kind of stuff, definitely go and give him a sub and follow him on Insta, please. Star Wars, where did it start for you?
Oh, my older brother, for sure. Just episode 2. Episode 2. That's the one movie that comes to mind when thinking the first time like watching Star Wars. Episode 2, like Battle Geonosis, all the Jedis just surrounding the arena, just igniting their sabers. It's just the coolest thing to see as a kid. Like, because that's what George Lucas, that was the point of that entire scene, was like, this is for the kids, and like nailed it right there. So episode 2, that was like where it started for me, thanks to my older brother, of course.
Underrated movie as well, Attack of the Clones.
Yes.
Very underrated.
It's a romantic comedy. That's what it is.
It is. It's a rom-com. It really is, It definitely it's funny because the first time someone explained Star Wars to me was it as a romantic space opera, which it is.
Yeah.
And then you had the prequels came in and done exactly the same. They stuck with the same mantra, it really is a romantic space opera. As much as you might not want it to be, that's what I was raging at the person that first described that way to me. Yeah. So how dare you talk to me about Star Wars in that way? But it is, and you're so right. It was really a romantic comedy, and so underrated. Just a fantastic movie, and okay, quite CGI heavy, but everything was back in those days.
Yeah.
But I had some fantastic scenes. Obi-Wan just disappearing out a window. Like one of the best scenes, in my opinion, of the entire saga, just disappearing through a window, doesn't know what's on the other side, but to hell with it, it's happening. Anakin doing the leap of faith out of the...
Yes.
Yes. And then we have that awesome scene at the end of we get Yoda with a lightsaber for the first time. Like, that was probably a defining moment for me. So
yeah,
I can see why obviously that stuck with you, and I can, definitely underrated, completely underrated. Sabers now, like, obviously you do a lot of saber stuff.
Yes.
What was your, and this is an open question, because this is really open to interpretation as to what a lightsaber really is. Mm-hmm. But what was, in your opinion, your first real kind of, lightsaber in terms of what would you would class as a lightsaber?
The first one would be like those telescope ones that like fold. Like those were my first ones, but like this one would probably be like the first of my like actual collection, the Black Series Mace Windu. Like this is what really like this started the obsession. But as a kid, it was those telescope ones, and I think I might have a little picture of the exact one I had here because I've been buying like a lot of the old 2005 figures.
Yeah.
And I opened one of them the other day, and it came.
You opened one?
Yeah. It's the one where Vader or Anakin transforms into Vader. Like it comes with like all the stuff, but
all the kind of
yeah, like that exact one where it changes colors. That's the one that I had as a kid. So
I remember that one. It went,
Yeah.
It went blue to red.
Hmm.
I remember that one. Oh my
Yeah.
god,
I love that one.
it's
Loved it.
funny. I didn't know that about you. That your kind of FX kind of collection started with the Hasbro Mace Windu, because my
Hmm.
FX collection started with the Master Replica Mace Windu. So that's a
That's
creepy
awesome.
similarity, man,
Yeah,
to our kind of journeys, you know.
it's a funny story on how I got the Mace Windu. I have a local comic book store near me, and someone came in selling the Mace Windu, and I'm over like creeping around the corners because I haven't seen one of these sabers before. Like I've always thought that they had them just at Galaxy's Edge, and I'm like I'll probably never get one of those sabers.
Yeah.
And he brought it in. And I was like, what is that? So I was like creeping around the corners, like he was turning it on and everything. I was like, I have to buy that now. Bought it for like $100.
Oh, worth it.
Yeah, so worth it.
So
And
worth it.
I love it. It's like it looks sick on the wall. It's where I have it. I have it hanging up like back here. It's where I usually like record all my videos. It just
Yeah.
hangs up back there. I love it, dude. It's
Do you
awesome.
remember the first time that you ever kind of got batteries into it and
Yeah,
turned it on?
I was in a Walmart parking lot when I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You didn't
because
waste any time at all, man. You were straight in Walmart, batteries, get in
yeah,
there. Yes.
yes, yes. Just I had to stop by Walmart. It's like right next to my house. Had to stop by Walmart, but then I noticed it had batteries like in the box. Like he just left batteries in the box. So I was like, "Oh snap! I don't have to get batteries." Just put them in, and
There's
I was
no better
hooked.
feeling, right?
I was hooked immediately. I probably need to change the batteries out now, but I was hooked immediately once I turned it on.
Does that one still take 6 double A's?
I think it's 3.
Is it
I'd have
3?
to check.
The Master Replicas one, I was talking to Jim about this. The Master Replicas one was 6 double A's.
That's insane.
That was like the battery pack was like this long. And it
That's
was like
insane.
it was just 6. Oh god, it was ridiculous. But no, it's such a beautiful help, man. And that's like, for me, is that my kind of real unicorn hilt is the Mace Windu. Just
Mhm.
purely because of that way it made me feel when I bought it, and that kicked off my kind of craze as well. So I kind of like that similarity that we have. That's kind of creepy, actually. In terms of your collection, I wouldn't say that you've got a varied collection, but you've got a varied collection of a certain character.
I do. Yes. I don't have all of them with me right now. I only have 3 of them. One's coming back to me hopefully by the end of the week, and the other one probably the same as well. But yeah, I mainly collect Vader hilts. I have almost all the ones he used, like from movies to even the comic books. I'm looking to get that one soon. Rogue One is probably the only movie one that I'm missing at the moment.
This is the one that we always debate about is Rogue One. And we won't get into it too much, but I can't understand how it changes within 10 minutes. Well, in terms of timeline, it's not 10 minutes, but in like kind of movie to movie, it's literally about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But I mean, for anyone who doesn't know Carter, he is literally our resident Vader expert. Like, you will see people's collections, like you probably see a little bit of mine behind me. It's very varied. And that's, I would say, typical of most people's collection. Not this guy. Not this guy. From what? Oh God, when did you get your last summer? Your kind of first NeoPixel?
Yeah, my
Was that
first NeoPixel
was it
I
the
got
Revan?
no, it was a Banshee from Crimson Dawn.
Banshee.
Once Mando season 2 happened, like the
Yeah,
finale, I like just like everyone else, I had to get one, and I was
yeah,
tempted to get Luke's, but I didn't know a lot about the hobby,
yeah.
and so I had to I was like, let me just be careful real quick. Let me buy this 250 saber, and once I got it in, I immediately regretted not getting the Luke. Like just immediately, I was like, I should have gotten the Luke.
It's hilarious, man, because I remember when you got that, and
That's
then you
how we
got.
met.
That's
That's
how
how
we
we
met.
met.
That's how we
Yeah,
met. And then it was I think you got a Revan at one point as well.
May 4th.
May 4th, you got the Revan.
Mm.
And then from there on in, I remember us talking, oh God, nearly a year ago. And I was like, what's your dream collection like? And you were like, Vader, like everything Vader. And in
Yeah.
the past 10 months, you have
Yeah.
achieved
Yeah. Pretty
essentially that,
much.
you know, which is insane, man. So what have you got with you just now? You've got
So I'll show off the non-Vader ones first because we'll save the best for last.
we'll save the best for last, yeah, because you do have some
So
other stuff in your collection, but
I
it is
do.
primarily.
So I have one
Oh,
replica's Super Stunt Obi. Shout out to Cole for gifting this to me. Just a beautiful hilt is so easy to like swing. Like I use a
yeah.
lot. I use this one mostly for like font reviews because it's just so easy just to swing around. 28-inch blade. So much fun. Let me
It's
go
a
to this
beautiful
one.
help.
Oh
Beautiful
yeah,
help.
this one is a more. This one's a little bit more recent. OWK4 with a crystal chamber. If I
And that's
could,
the 8-9 sabers, yeah.
yes, I got this one second hand. There's a crystal in
Beautiful,
there.
man.
Yeah, love that one. And speaking of crystals, there's a certain saber. Can't
Oh yeah,
pass it up.
there's a big one.
Cannot pass this one up. A
Dude,
Star Killer.
I love that thing more and more
Yeah,
every time I see it.
dude, I love it. It's so great, and especially like with the how to say the reworked weathering.
Yeah.
Like it everything is just it makes it better. It just makes the crystal like just better.
It's funny because I was up at Ryan's a couple of weeks back coming. We were installing in that SK Rogue, and he had a Star Killer. It
Mhm.
wasn't the same one that you've got. I think it was an early Corbanth one.
Yeah.
And I took one look at that, and I burst into fits of laughter. And he's like, "What are you laughing at, dude? Carter Star Killer's crazy." Have you seen the size of that crystal? He's like, "Oh yeah, it's huge, right?" So
I
like,
love it. I love it so much. And that's talking about the Star Killer again. This is like the one thing I wanted to achieve to like be different from everyone else because this is installed with CFX and
yeah,
so looking at the questions, we'll probably talk more about CFX later, but this is installed with CFX when every other Star Killer I see is installed with Profi.
yeah.
And I get why they install it with Profi, but I'm like, I want to be different. CFX, giant crystal. Let's do it.
Yeah, Profi and small crystal. No, CFX
No.
huge ass crystal.
Exactly. And I think having something kind of like that in your collection is kind of like a staple. Like,
Yeah,
not like a Star Killer in general, but like something that like sets your collection apart from someone else's. Like it's a
yeah.
staple to you. Like I love it for that reason. And
It's
then
insane, man. I remember the first time you showed us that. I was
yeah,
we laughed for a while, and then we all kind of slowly realized that's kick ass. It's
yeah,
impressive, man. So sorry, man.
yeah.
Please continue. Oh,
Saber Trio Cross Guard. My first Saber Trio and my first Cross Guard. I love this thing so much. It's my best sounding saber at the moment because I do plan to get another Saber Trio soon. But
well, all I'm going to say is there's 800 available. Fastest finger
yeah.
first. I'm not even going to try it this time around, man.
Oh dude.
Gasoline prices here. I don't know about over in the States. Wow.
Yeah, they're up.
Um,
They're up.
we're like $2.50 for a liter. Never mind the gallon for a liter.
Mhm.
So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna put the horses on, like hold the horses on S3 till maybe they kind of fall.
Yeah, I think don't they reopen like the next reopen is in like September? Or I could be wrong.
Well, I was told May 4th they're doing something.
They're doing something May 4th?
I
Okay,
was
that's good.
told that. I don't know if it's true.
Mhm.
The original plan, because obviously, there was that incident 2 weeks ago when I posted that, oh no Neo Sabers.
Yeah.
And then everyone kind of jumped on, and I'm like, I'm just going off what they told. That's
Mhm.
it, which was true. At the time, it was true. They weren't going to offer that, but they are now offering it. The plan was to open May 4th and offer Neo Sabers. So I don't know if that's still on the cards or not.
Right.
But that was a plan. It might still be, it might not be. I don't know. But if not, probably the fall, I'd imagine. Because last year it was what, March August, November. I think it was last year. So I'd imagine this year, if they're not going to do May, I'd imagine it'd be roughly the same, following the same path.
Yeah.
You know, that crossguard that you've got.
Yes.
I'm glad that you produced that because, pardon me, I'm going to die with COVID here. I'm not. I do have it, but I feel fine. The speaker, 22mm Vico speaker.
It's loud.
Well, I was just going to say because I have in here a 22mm KR. And it's very similar to the Vico in terms of how it actually looks. But oh boy, you know, I've heard that because there was a massive uproar about the move, the silent move from 28mm base to 22mm. And a lot of people were kind of like, oh, I don't know about this. But when they started coming out and people started getting them, you know, like you and everyone's, you know, fears were eradicated. And yes, wow, loud.
Yeah. And
Holy hell.
you know, during show and tell, I'll ignite it for you and show off maybe one or two fonts because
Please do.
it is insanely loud. I turned it on during my Batman stream the other day to like show the animated series font, and I had to hold it like all the way over here, like away from the mic because like it was insane.
Yeah.
And I think it's not even all the way. I think it's at maybe 60%. Like it's crazy, and I
They,
love doing my font reviews on it because it's crisp, quality sound.
they are surprised. I mean, I don't have the exact same one, but from what I've been told, the 22mm vehicle that Saber Tree were using and the 22mm KR are 99% the same. Like, from what I've been told, I don't have the intrinsic scientific evidence to back it up, but from people who are in the know, you know, and if that's the same as what this is, boy, is it impressive. You know, and that 28mm Vectra that I've got sounds insane. Beautiful, loud, crisp, clear, you know. But the 22mm, man, I'm not going to lie, so pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know a lot of people were, and I remember talking to you actually about it when you ordered the soul in your lap, the crossguard. Sorry, we were like, yeah, let's do 20mm, 22mm speaker though. Like, what's it going to be like? Because they said it's great, and it turned out to be because you were like, dude, this thing's killer.
Yeah.
You know.
And like listening to it when I first turned it on, I was like, man, this might be on the same level as like one of my other Vaders. And then I turned that one on compared to that, and I was just like, dude, the crossguard just blows this out of the water.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's one thing that Saber Tree have always been really good at doing is producing helmets that have fantastic sound resonance. You know, they've always been good at doing that. From what I've kind of gathered, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why I got the Vectra, because like people were saying, get the Vectra. The Solo Guard and the Cross Guard weren't available at the time. And that was November. I think that was August last year that I got this one. But it was the sole reason that I got mine was for sound quality, you know, because up until then I had some decent stuff. But I think you would agree. You can have some great stuff. And then you get a Saber trio. And when it comes to sound, nothing comes near it.
I agree. Yeah.
You know,
I 100% agree with that.
nothing comes near it at all, man. You know, and you've got some awesome killer sabers, but you'd probably say the best sounding one is your crossguard.
Yeah, that's definitely the best sounding one. Now getting into the Vaders. So I currently don't have two with me. So my Super Stunt Vader, that should be here by the end of the week. And my DV6, that should also hopefully be here by the end of the week. But I do have, let's see, which one do I want to show off? Let me show off the empty one first. So I have this one. This is a Parks.
Oh, nice.
MP, New Hope, and the way you can tell, like the difference is yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll show it. So this is Empire Strikes Back. So the main thing you can tell with like the difference is one, the clamp, like the clamps are different, and two, probably the most notable one is the grips. The grips
Yep.
are a lot shorter on this, where this one is a lot longer.
The,
And
the
this one
grips on
also,
so I was going to say the grips on the A New Hope one are a lot more
yeah,
Graflex like, kind of skinny
yeah.
flex like, shorter grips.
hmm And then you also have wires for Empire Strikes Back, and on this one, it's pretty plain. Um, Yeah, at the moment, this one is empty. I am planning to get this installed. I'm just waiting for parts to come in and for CFX to, come
Has
back
to
in
be.
stock.
Yeah.
Has to come back in stock. Black Series, I have, of course, the Darth Vader Black Series and A New Hope as well. This one hangs on my wall.
Dude, do us a favor right now. Can you
Compare?
hold up the Black Series and the Parks A New Hope?
Yeah. They're pretty close.
Yeah, I was just thinking that when you held them up there, like,
Yeah, they're really, really close. This one just has like, the letterings on it. This one doesn't. And the hilts themselves, like
pretty
pretty,
similar.
they're pretty much the same size. It's just like the grips, you know, they're a tad bit longer on the Black Series one. But
The main thing, though, is going to be obviously the internals. Like,
oh yeah, oh yeah,
Black Series
this
is
one,
great to have stuff for show, but if you
this
want something real, then
this one's going straight to Nerf herder, like straight to Benji, the saber god, as we like to call him in my
oh, he is
community.
such a. I love that man. I love that man so much. I'm waiting for things to calm. I've been saying for 9 months that I'm going to send my Yoda to him, and I am. I'm waiting for things to kind of calm down a little bit. Um, because as we know, things have been getting out of hand recently.
Yep.
And yeah, so I'll be honest, I was kind of swithering with the conversion a little bit, because like of the significance of that saber to me.
Right.
But I'm definitely going to do it. I think, yeah, because you're not wrong, man. Benji is a friggin' god when it comes to
Oh yeah, and especially him doing like his own custom chassis now. Like he's
yeah,
getting like every chassis he's like improving. Like it's insane. Like, and that's when I was like, dude, I have to send him this Vader because he's just getting better with each chassis. It's
yeah.
awesome. It's awesome to see. And then up next, the DV3.
This is my favorite Vader help.
You actually told me the history about the DV3, which honestly is super interesting. And the more I looked into it, I got one right here. The more I looked into it, like it wasn't just like an unused prop that was like in the background of a documentary. Like they
Yeah,
used the DV3 for like promotional stuff, like
yeah,
Vader's action figure hilt.
yeah,
Like, if you look up, I believe if you look up Darth Vader episode 3, and if he's holding a lightsaber, he's holding a DV3, which is super, super sick.
yeah.
And then this chassis has my logo
Oh,
on
I
it.
love that, man. That's killer.
Yeah, dude.
That's killer,
Sith,
man.
Sith text, dude. Jeremy killed this thing. I love it so much. This one bounces back and forth from being my favorite. Like it goes from the crossguard to this from being my favorite. I love this hilt so much. It's a it's like a skinny flex mixed with Vader's. Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's a perfect size too. Like this is perfect.
I remember the first conversation we had about the DV3, and I remember you like DV3, like, and I'm like, yeah, because like the first time I ever seen it was in the Revenge of the Sith game.
Mhm.
You've got an alternate ending to that, and you see the DV3,
Yeah.
and like back in '05 when that game came out, you're like, no, it would surely be like his A New Hope one, right? And then Master Replicas came out with their mini series
Mhm.
because they never done a Force FX DV3. They done A New Hope and Empire, and that was it. They didn't even do a DV6, just done A New Hope and Empire.
Listen, the DV6 is so underrated.
Oh, so underrated.
So underrated.
Absolutely. So underrated.
I
They
wish I
brought
had it with me right now.
they brought out the miniature DV3, and I still have it, but it's at my mum's place. And the first time I seen a full size one was from the Ultimate Works. And you look at that, you know, like compared to A New Hope or Empire, right? And it fits the narrative so well, the DV3. New Sith Lord thinks he's the bee's knees, you know, he wants something nice and flashy. That's what he would have at that time, you know. Then you fast forward a little bit, you know, 20 years, I guess. He's kind of, you know what, I'm over it. You know, I sold myself down the river for no reason.
Yeah.
And he's just a little bit more kind of back to the kind of bit more kind of plain looking, you know. But it's such a nice help, the DV3. It's
dude, I love it. Like Ultimate Works did one, and then I found that on like eBay or Mercari, I can't remember, but empty for like 500. I was like, no way, dude, I'm not paying that. And then I'm going to mention them a lot because I mainly get my hilts from them. Corbant, 89 Sabers. I love Corbant. Love 89 Sabers. Like that's the first place I go when I'm like, I kind of want a new empty hilt. That's the first place I go. I love them. And then when I saw it was I remember the day when I bought that thing. It was Halloween. I was watching football, and then I got a notification from Sebastian Starlight. He's like, "Yo, they came out with the DV3," and I pre-ordered that thing so fast.
Yep.
And it came in January, early January, and I sent it off like a few days after I sent it off, and I got it back within like a week. So, and I love it so much. It holds all my Dark Side prequel fonts and Clone Wars fonts, and it's just perfect for it.
It's one of those hilts where it's not been done a lot. You look at other hilts on the market, and there's various versions of them done by this company and done by that company. But the DV3s,
the first one to come to mind would be like a Graflex or a Luke's Episode 6. Those are the two that are done by every single company.
Oh yeah,
every single one.
Oh yeah, they're the ones that have done the most. You know, probably the Luke Episode 6. In fact, when I was at Ryan's last week, there was like KR Eco Hero, Corbant V2. There was Grumpy Uncle from Denis Lukinov.
There's the mom as well.
The mom as well, and then the V2. And it was like he had like just 5 or 6 of these hilts.
Yeah.
You know, like different iterations of them, you know, and I'm like, how many times has this been reproduced? You know? But it's just, that particular hilt is a stunning hilt, though, and you can see why. But the DV3, man, is probably, I would say, one of the best looking hilts in the whole franchise. And it's only been done from what I know, by 2, maybe 3 companies.
I think Wild's Junkyard, they have one. SP Sabers is selling them. I think they got one going.
What just now?
Yeah, it's called the Dark Lord.
Oh, I'm gonna need to check that out.
Yeah, check it out. I could be wrong, but I'm almost positive SP Sabers, Wild's Junkyard, they got one.
I'm gonna need to check that out, man. I think I'm gonna need to help Sean. Definitely. Your DV6, you don't have.
Now I'm thinking about there's a few sabers I don't have with me, but real quick, this one is the one that really kind of started the Vader obsession. There are a few scratches because this is the one I use the most.
Did you fix it?
Fix what? What did I fix?
The wire.
Oh yeah, I did fix it. It's not perfect.
It looks good, dude.
Remember
that. I remember that video. Like you just
my
pull it out,
gosh.
and you're like, oh
yeah, it broke. You don't pull it out once it's fully installed. You don't mess with the wires. But this one has a crystal chamber. This was like this was my first empty, and I wanted to go all out with it. So I wanted the crystal chamber. I wanted Profi. Like I wanted this thing to be like the best of the best, and it is. And then it's probably out of all of my installed sabers, it's probably the best looking internals. If I have to
Yeah.
be honest, it's definitely the best looking internal.
When you get the kill key out and that dude and that crystal starts kind of going, and
Oh
it
yeah, I can
looks
do
it
that real
looks
quick.
it looks insane, man. It looks like, I just love that so much. I remember when you got that and you were just so excited about it. Like, it's just
Let's see. It's probably on Vader.
The plans you
There it is.
refer to will soon be back in our hands.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, you love it.
You get the breathing through it as well.
Yeah, you got to have the breathing hum for Vader. That's what's that Father V2. That's what sets that font apart from everyone else. Because if it's just a normal hum, then it's just like, oh, then it sounds like everything else. But then if you add the breathing on it, it's like, oh, this is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. It's the Father V2 package. If anyone's looking for a really, really good Vader package, the Father V2 package from Kyberphonic
100%
is the
recommend.
best Vader package out there.
And he went all out on that, like
Oh, yeah.
quotes, force sounds, like everything. He
Yeah.
went all out with it.
Jesse was working on that for a good couple months, from what I can remember.
Oh yeah, because it's A New Hope, it's Rogue One, it's Empire Strikes Back, and it's
Jedi,
Return of the
yeah.
Jedi. Yep.
I think the only thing he's probably missing would be like a Rebels version.
I
Or
think the
something like that.
Rebels one is I think it's just
pretty much A New Hope, right?
Rogue One. No,
Rogue
just
One,
Rogue
sorry.
One. Yeah. That Jedi Fallen Order and Rebels, I'm pretty sure they used the Rogue One sounds for those.
The best package though for Vader. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Especially the Rogue One, the R1, and it's so difficult when you've got two guys in the community like Jesse and Keenan who both produce such fantastic work. And Rogue Vader was like one of my earliest fonts that I purchased. And then Jesse hits it with R1, and you're like, oh. But even though it's the same font, you can tell there's just subtle differences to them both. They're both great. Like it's.
I got both of them on that Vader because they're both great.
They're just killer fonts, man.
Yeah.
You couldn't pick one over the other because they are quintessentially Rogue One Vader, but they are quintessentially different as well. Because and by now you can probably go. You can listen to a sound font and go, Jesse made that one, Keenan made that one.
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah, I could probably. If you gave me 10 fonts, 5 for Jesse, 5 for Keenan, I could probably get maybe 8 out of 10 right.
Yeah, yeah. No,
they both have their styles with it for sure.
Yeah, and that's what I love about them, man, is because they might obviously do the same stuff, and they have crossed over and done some of the same fonts, but you can tell who's done what.
Yeah.
And it's not that one's better than the other; it's just they have their own style,
their
own trademarks, So, sick, man, sick.
Out of the sabers, I don't have with me at the moment because I do have a lot that are coming in. I do have something. I'm not going to say like exactly what hilts because I don't want to spoil the surprise. But I did kind of put on my story on Instagram, kind of like hinting towards what's coming in. I do have something coming from SP that I get updated on at least 2 or 3 times a week, which is awesome. I do have something that I got from Zach, Darth Ravens. If people kept up with his Instagram story for a good 20 minutes, they know exactly what that is.
I know exactly what that is. Yeah.
Yep. I'm the one who got it.
I know exactly what that is.
I did trade off my spare DV6. I did have 2 for a while. I traded that one off, and I have a certain hilt from episode 2 coming in.
Whoa. Fucking back up.
Yeah, that happened yesterday.
A certain hilt from episode 2. Well, we know it's going to be a Sith hilt, so we'll move on.
No, it's a Jedi hilt.
It's a Jedi hilt from episode 2.
Yep.
Have you and I just bought the same hilt?
I mean, we can talk about it later. And then I did a video on it, but the 0.1 from the Saber Merchant right now that is currently being installed, and I kind of told him what I want on it and what I want cosmetic wise, because like how it came in, it's not going to look like that when it comes back.
Yeah.
I told him what I want, and I said, you don't have to send me updates. Surprise me. Like whatever you do, I'm probably just going to like anyway. So that will come back in, and I don't know what that's going to end up looking like, but I'm really excited about it.
That's a really interesting help, actually. I hadn't heard of that one, and I seen your video. And we spoke a little
Mhm.
bit about it briefly. And I went and kind of done some more kind of research on it, and it's going to look,
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
you
It's
know,
really comfortable to hold for sure.
yeah.
And I did kind of put a blade in it to like see what it would feel like swinging it. And dude, it's gonna be killer.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so
Once you get those
killer.
electronics in there as well, it's going to be really, really nicely weighted. You know,
Yeah.
it looks like a hilt that is very, very well balanced.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Out of your current collection, what is your favorite and why?
It jumps back and forth between my crossguard and my DV3. It jumps back and forth between these two. This one mainly because of sound and look, and mainly this one because it's a prequel Vader. So
And it's rare. Like, not a lot
yeah.
of people have a DV3.
Mhm.
Like, you pull that out, that's a flex, dog.
Yeah. So it's between those two just for those reasons. But I would say right now, currently, it would probably be the cross guard.
You're
It
just
would,
in Saber Trio mode because it's March.
this is very true. I am planning to get something from Saber Trio this next few weeks.
Oh, I sincerely hope you do manage to get what it is you're after, dude.
Oh, dude. I'm gonna go all out with it. I'm gonna go all out with it. I'll tell you about it.
Oh, yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. What's your dream saber? What is that one unicorn? You might, you might,
So
you might already have it because you set out to get the full Vader collection and you've pretty much achieved that minus Rogue One. But what would
yeah.
be your dream unicorn, god tier? If I only ever had this in my collection, I'd be happy. Saber.
So other than the Vader hilts, let's put those aside. 'Cause like when I think of Dream Hilt, I think of something that I don't have, so I just keep thinking about it. So Vader hilts aside, like I'm going to bring up Saber Trio again. I am working on getting my Dream Hilt from Saber Trio, which I will say what hilt it is. It is the Senza, but I'm doing other things. I have other ideas
Yeah.
for it. But you know, one that I would say that I can actually, talk about would be Luke's lightsaber from episode 6. So other than like, what I'm planning to get from Saber Trio, it would be Luke's saber from episode 6.
What one would it be? Would it be the KR Eco Hero? Would it be the Mom? Would it be the V2? There's a lot of it. We've just spoke about that. There's a lot of iterations of that hilt.
It would probably be the Mom. There was a night where it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I was just on 7 chambers, and I was like, I want it. I gotta get it. I gotta get it. Like I had a payment plan ready to go,
Yeah.
had it all lined up, and I didn't hit buy. I was like, I can't do it right now. Can't do it.
The Mom is really, really nice,
Mhm.
right? But for me, personally, the brass is too brass. I've spoken
Yeah.
about this before. Like the brassy bit is far too shiny for me,
Mhm.
and that's just my opinion and my like.
Yeah.
It is probably the most accurate iteration, to be fair. If y'all go watch the We Built a Lightsaber video, you'll see a bunch of episode 6 hilts lined up.
Mhm.
And within the first couple minutes of that video, we kind of done a little kind of pan around Ryan's collection. And in that, you can pause it. On that table, you've got several Mams. You've got the KR Eco Hero, the Corbanth V2. You've got the Dennis Lukinov Grumpy Uncle. And you get a lot of people that are saying, "Oh, but this one's more accurate because of the grips here." And you're like, literally, I've had all of them in my hand, and I'm looking at that section. Some are slightly shorter than others,
Yeah.
but everything's the same, you know? So, like, there's a lot of, like, really, you know, you're kind of really splitting hairs. A lot of people are kind of splitting hairs when it comes to that, you know? Like, for me, it's more of the cosmetic choice. When you think about Luke Episode 6 Saber, you're thinking about the silver and the brass on the emitter, you know, and
that's the mom. That's the
and the
mom.
brass
The
control box.
the Luke V2 is the silver and black one.
Didn't they do a silver and black mom as well? Though I thought they did.
I don't think so. The only mom that I know of is one, my mom who's in the other room, and two, that one, the cave scene one.
Maybe I'm just getting mixed up, man, because there's a lot of iterations of that hilt. But yeah, I mean, it's funny because also we record these in advance, and due to even though you're episode 1, you're like the 4th person, just due to our schedules, and everyone has said pretty much the same thing
about Dream Saber,
in one way or another. You know, like they have Dream Sabers, and then they go, "But if I could have one of those, I'd have one of those too."
Yeah,
you know, because it is just that it's iconic. You know, it is iconic. It's an iconic hilt. You know, I would dare say it even more iconic than the Graflex.
Yeah,
you know?
maybe. I mean, there's a lot of versions of the Graflex as well.
Oh, too many. I hope people don't jump on me for saying that. But
dude, people are going to jump on you for saying that.
People are going to jump on me for saying that. But it's just But that's the way I'm reading the community, man. That's it. It's just, you know, forgive me, but that's the way I'm reading the community based on what I'm being told. At the end of the day, you know, it just seems like it's more iconic than the Graflex to me. But yeah, no, fine choice. And the Senza, we'll talk about the Senza real quick as well. The Senza, this time last year when I was trying to, you know, snag one and couldn't, I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because I'm happy with the Vectra. You know, I wanted the Senza because it looked like the kind of Cal Kestis type. You know, it's definitely, obviously that's the inspiration it takes from. But the OLED screen and the fact that it looks nice without the, it looks really nice without the emitter plates on as well, because you can take them off and it looks killer. Zach says beautiful.
Yeah, and that's what convinced me to get one, because he had the OLED screen, he had the shrouds.
Yeah,
and like I saw that and I had so many ideas for it, and I was like, I have that. That's the one that came to mind. I was like, I have to do it because all the ideas I have in my head, it would just work with that one the best.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I would go as far as saying it's probably the nicest looking saber that Saber Trio do. I think in terms of intricacy, you know. Although saying that, maybe the Solo Guard might have.
The Solo Guard is very nice.
Its way in there.
Very nice.
Know? Cody's Solo Guard is.
Yeah.
No, bella. It's beautiful. You know, really, really nice. But no, I hope you get what you want. You know, and if you're doing something crazy with it, I hope you're not waiting too long. And I cannot wait to friggin' see it.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Now for the age-old question. People are no longer going to jump on me for saying what I said about the Graflex. This is a very divisive, probably one of the most divisive questions in the Saber community.
I am ready to defend myself.
Locked and loaded, baby.
Ready.
What's your favorite soundboard and why?
CFX. 100%. Because here's the thing. I used to be all about Profi. And then I got a CFX. And I was like, I wasted my time with Profi. Listen, everybody wants to say like blade styles. CFX has blade styles too. Like, I don't know where y'all are getting this from. Like, I don't know where y'all are getting this from. Now, the CFX have like amazing blade styles, like Profi. Not at the moment, but like from what I see exactly. They're getting there from like what I've seen from crystalfocus.net. They're getting there. Like, they're catching up to Profi. Like, they're right there when it comes to blade styles.
Yeah.
Eventually, like, shout out to Benji because he's said this. Every board's going to do the same thing eventually. Like, it's just going to get to that point. So, honestly, I prefer CFX because all I can do is just drag and drop my sound fonts on there, name them, number them, and then throw them on my board. And all I gotta do is turn it on and change to the color I want, and that's it. Like that is all I have to do.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You know,
With Profi, dude, it takes an hour to get it together.
I mean, I would argue now that OS 6 has definitely made things a lot more CFX like in that respect.
Yeah.
But you're not wrong. I was speaking with Stephen Powell from Powell's Power Ups.
Great guy.
Fantastic guy. Did you see the unstable sleeve that he's done for the Kylo?
Oh, dude, it's so cool.
Oh, dude,
It
I'm
is so cool.
totally on one of those for the Kylo. Totally on
Yeah.
one. I'm like,
I
dude,
think
you
it would
let
look
me know you're
cool.
taking pre-orders, and I'm there.
I think it would look cool with this. I might
Yes.
try that out.
Absolutely. But he's trying to get them printed off in one piece
Yeah.
rather than stacking them, you know? So that'll be cool. His newcomer package for CFX with the 33 blade styles.
Yeah.
I think it is 33 blade, and then you get an entire new color package as well, which gives you far more, you know? Like
Yeah,
the Saber Trio package is great, but the Stevens Powell's is just unbelievable.
Yeah, when you throw that on your CFX, that's literally everything you need. That's
Yeah.
everything you need. And
You
like
don't
if
need
you
anything
want
else.
to add some more stuff, just go to crystalfocus.net. Just go to their what is it, parameters,
Yeah.
and just copy that and just paste that onto your config.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Like I've done that so many times because I'm like, I like this unstable, but let me try this unstable. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just so easy.
It really is, you know, and not to discount, you know, any of the work that people like Brian Connor or Fernando do for Profi, because they did fantastic work, you know, and I wouldn't go as far to say that I've enjoyed learning OS 6 for Profi because I really wanted to slam my head against the frigging door on several occasions. What you can do with it is great, but in terms of, you know, and quite a few people recently, because Saber Trio's reopening, have DM'd me and be like, I'm going to try and get one in March, in a few weeks. What do you recommend soundboard wise? And purely for the ease, I've just said CFX. Just go CFX. I know the Profi config that they have is awesome, right? Just go CFX. You're going to have a much better starter beginner experience with CFX than you are with Profi.
I wish I started with CFX because I started with Profi. I wish I started with CFX.
Same. I really do as well. But the thing with CFX is it's not as readily available in a pre-installed format as Profi. We look at the LGT phenomenon with Profi. It just made Profi, you know, so readily available and installed and ready to rock. You know, CFX didn't have that outlet because, you know, Saber Trio went through the difficulties that they were having. You know, like Saber Trio used to have stock all the time. You used to be able to go in there anytime and buy whatever. You know, and due to various things with COVID and you know, various other complications with extreme weather, and then obviously the whole COVID thing brought around, you know, semiconductor shortages for boards, and you couldn't get the boards, and it became a nightmare. So CFX just wasn't as readily available as what Profi was on a mass-produced level from the likes of LGT. You know, and that's why that's where I kind of think that's why Profi has became so popular and probably even more popular than and suppressed CFX, you know, because a lot of people go, CFX, what's that? Then they realize how easy it is to use, and they go, oh, why didn't I do? It's just because it wasn't so readily available in a pre-installed fashion, you know. And I can't disagree with you, man. Cannot disagree with you one bit. However, I will say, going back to what Benji says, like eventually all boards are going to do the same thing. You look at the Zero V2 and what they're doing with that. Like, they've just added a bunch of stuff
Right.
to that board. You know, you can configure your blade length. They've added more styles. They may or may not have some sort of style thing coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard rumors. I don't know if it's true or not. So don't anyone press me for it. I don't know if it's true. But they're always adding stuff to it, and we're going to get accent swings for that board as well soon.
Nice.
You know, so yeah, you know, Benji is not wrong. They are eventually going to do
Yeah.
all
They're
the
all
same
going to do the
thing.
same thing. Yep.
You know, and there's going to be minute differences, and that's going to be it. And you're still going to have people saying Profi's better than CFX.
Yeah. You'll still have those people. Shout out to those people.
Right, so time for a little bit of show and tell, my friend. So,
All right.
what are you showing off and telling us about?
Well, I'm going to show off and tell y'all about this crossguard because
Oh, you're in for a treat, ladies and gentlemen.
if you are subscribed to me, you know that I have milked the crossguard almost every sound font showcase and what have you, like sound font like reviews. Like I have milked this thing because it's the best sounding saber for sure. And like you would think that the side blades kind of get in the way of swinging. They really don't, because your balance point is like right under the button. Like it's just so easy to just swing this thing around.
The first thing I done when I got the LGT Kylo was stab myself in the ribs with the side blade. Literally, and the LGT blades for the Kylo, they are not
massive.
exactly. They're not forgiving. They're not huge. They're about 4 inches.
Yeah. I mean,
But
these
they're
are
not-
pretty massive too.
But they're not forgiving. They're quite pointy. So as you can imagine, I stopped swinging it, and I've left it on a shelf ever since.
Right.
So I think the Saber Trio ones are maybe a little bit more forgiving.
Let's see what sound font this is on.
Sound bank selection.
So it's on Batman right now, but
Oh yes.
Darkness, the balance.
hold on.
Dark
I'll show you the dark side. You will finish what you started.
So we have to go with Kylo. And like what I've done was like all of like there's Kylo ones. I've done a whole video on it. There's Kylo, there's Starlight, there's Second Strike, but they all have like that little delay right there
Yeah.
when it comes to the ignition. Like that right there is like the sole reason to get a crossguard.
Yeah,
Like,
you're not wrong.
That's it right there.
You're
It's
not wrong.
It looks so freaking cool. Like it's everything lit up. Like it just looks amazing. I think my favorite one is Last Jedi.
What you started.
One.
sound bank selection.
You know what I've come for.
There's this one.
them all.
Yeah, this one's a lot slower. Like that one's just intimidating, bro. And then
Sound bank selection.
What sound package is this? Is this crossguard?
yeah, crossguard from K-Sith.
You're nothing. But not to me.
That one.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
It's a bit higher pitched. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So that's like the sole reason to get a crossguard is because of those staggered ignitions. It's so good. So good. So satisfying too.
That was the pivotal factor, wasn't it? Like, what am I going to get? Crossguard. 'Cause I just want that.
Oh yeah.
I want
Yeah.
that sub blade delay, and that's it.
See, when I met up with the guys in Florida for Galaxy's Edge, Sebastian brought his crossguard.
Yeah.
And I was, dude, one, was a little, and I'm sitting there in my red robe, my red smoking jacket,
As
with the
you do.
crossguard in my hand, and because he had gesture controls, I kept doing the stab on and stab off just over and over, and his had like the staggered and everything, and I was just immediately obsessed with it. But like the other guys, they had their saber trios, and I was like, I don't know which one I want to get. I don't know if I want to get the saber trio or the crossguard.
Yeah.
And then saber trio announced the crossguard, and I
Crossguard.
was like, there it is. I have to do it now. I have to get it, and
The
zero
stars
regrets.
aligned.
Yeah, zero regrets. It's such a good saber, and I'm hoping Saber Trio does a curve tilt at some point. I hope that they're looking into doing something like that.
You would think if there was a company that could do it well, it would be S3.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a difficult one to carry off. You know, the curved hilt. A lot of companies have tried. If I think about companies that have tried it, there's only a couple have done it well.
Mm-hmm.
SP and Watto's done the Dooku, which was beautiful.
Right.
Saberforge's first attempt at the Dooku one for me was a fail. It was far too chunky. Their new one looks incredible.
Yeah, it looks really, really good.
Insane. Looks beautiful. Lovely, lovely, lovely. You've got the Bane from Saberforge again as well, which again was done really, really well. But I think a bit chunky. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sam's just got his back from Jeremy.
And it looks awesome.
It looks killer.
Yeah. I don't have a curved tilt. I can't like give my like opinions on like curved tilts, like swinging wise or like aesthetic wise. But like, well, you know, maybe aesthetic. I mean, they look cool, of course, but like, I don't own one. I can't really give my full opinions on them. I would like to own one day. It's just like which one would I want to get?
The best person to ask on curved hilts probably Keenan.
Yeah,
he had every Dooku under the sun. I think he's just sold a couple actually. If they'd done a curved hilt, yeah, I think I can't picture what it would look like, but you just know it would be a success.
Yeah,
you know, because these guys don't mess around. You know, they don't have the reputation for quality and aesthetics that they do by messing around. You know, so I can't start to wrap up without talking about comics.
Yes,
you are
comics.
The comic book guy.
I am.
You are the sole reason I now go out of my way at the, you know, we've got one in Glasgow called A1 Toys. It's a comic book store, like a nerd store, you know. And before I met you, I wouldn't even look at comics, to be honest. I had no interest at all.
Right.
Now, different kettle of fish. The first thing I look at when I go in is now comics. You know, they could have the latest Black Series helmet. You know, I'm not bothered by that. I'm looking at the comics first, right?
Mm.
Do you remember what was your first ever comic? Like, what got you so wrapped up with comics?
First ever.
Like the one that you would say, I love comics.
Okay, it wasn't a physical copy. It was a digital copy, actually. It was a digital copy of Batman The Long Halloween. And that's kind of where my love for one, Batman in general. Well, I guess I guess my love started at the movies, but comic book wise, that's where it started to go. And then I read like Green Lantern, which was the book. Oh, I forgot exactly what it was called, but it went through each Lantern Corps and like gave all their oaths and stuff like that, and that was really cool. So I read all these comics through apps, and then my brother gave me like 10 of these miscellaneous comics, like physical copies, and from there I went and I got how many? 2, 4, 6. I have 8 small boxes, and I have 2 bookshelves. Well, I mean, the bookshelves, they're not full as of yet. I'm still, you know, working on that. But when it comes to small boxes, it's 8 of them. And you got to think there's each box can hold up to 150 of them.
Whoa.
So there's a lot of comic books right next to me. And I I've met people who have more. So like, you know, when someone else who has a big comic book collection, they'll look at that and be like, yeah, that's a good place to start. It's just like, yeah, this is a lot though.
That's not a small collection. That's,
yeah.
You know...
And when it comes to Star Wars and comics, I kind of pride myself on having all of the canon ones, and I use canon very loosely because they don't, you know, they're very loosely canon as
they don't stay canon for long in our experience.
No,
like the Vader ones didn't they just get made like, you know, uncanonized because of a certain help?
Yeah, the Vader one got decanonized, and that one came out in 2017. So like,
Yeah.
and that feels like forever ago, but it's like that's not that long ago. Like that comic's only lived for a few years now, and that was like
That's
one of the ones that were like super hard to get because that was the first like that was the real first appearance of the second sister, like
yeah.
before Jedi Fallen Order. So that one was hard to get just because of that one comic. So, yeah, when it comes to Star Wars, I pride myself on having almost every single canon one.
The Star Wars comics, I never had an interest. Like, I knew they were doing a series, but I'd never had an interest in comics.
Yeah.
And when you and I met, you kind of got me into it a little bit, even though I don't own any. But I really wanted to read the Vader comics. But of course, they're hard to get, because they've been out for a few years now.
Right.
So, Theory did the whole read through, the whole
Yeah,
series.
which is a great series.
Which, if you haven't seen it, go and watch Star Wars Theory's read through of Vader. It's like 2.5 hours long or something like that. I think
Yeah, it's pretty long, but it's so worth it because it's
it's
just
so well done,
he
right?
goes through
Like,
everything. Like I did my own video series on it, but I didn't go as deep as he went. Like he did voices, he did every page, every line. He hit everything.
yeah,
So yeah.
it's a fantastic kind of little 2.5 hour presentation of the whole series. It's definitely worth a watch. If you haven't read them, and okay, they're now decanonized, but they're still an awesome series. There's
And
still
especially
lot
like
of stuff.
the Dark Horse Star Wars, that those are coming back in the spring, but
Yes,
new stories. But the old Dark Horse comics, they're great. They're fantastic.
it's something I'm going to do. I'm going to purposely make a point of starting to collect a series from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
You
Like, are
know,
you talking like single issues, or are you talking like paperbacks? Because there's different ways to collect comics. You can do them
probably
digitally.
probably
Is
single issue, like single
see
issue paper
that's my
copy.
that's my way of doing it.
Probably
Like
the
there's
classic way of doing it, right?
Yeah, that's the classic way of doing it. Now, I do have a lot of paperbacks because when it comes to trade paperbacks, they're a whole lot easier to get than just single issues because it's everything right there. And usually, like I'm looking at one right now, like Civil War, like that was turned into a movie, and like when they take adaptations,
Yeah,
those skyrocket, and the comic book stock market a skyrocket. So it's kind of hard to get the original one. So it's just like might as well just get paperback and just save a little money, But in other things, I mean, I got a lot right here. I mean, I got a lot beside me as well. Like I have them everywhere. I have them here. I got some here. Let me just take all this off. I got some like right here. Like
the
they're
High
everywhere.
Republic ones, man. I wish
They're
I'd
not
started
bad.
to collect those because I've heard good things about them.
Dude, they're not bad. And I think the first issue right now, stock market wise, is gone up in price. So that's pretty sick. And like the cool thing about comic books, you can treat them kind of like trading cards. Like some people like or Pokemon cards. I know Sims
Yeah,
has done grading and stuff. You can do that with comics. And I'm very confident, like in my collection, I have a lot of stuff that could be graded and could be considered rare. So
yeah.
looking at my comic collection is far more impressive than my lightsaber collection, I would say. Far more impressive.
Yeah, but they're not as expensive, are they? Like
They're not as expensive, no, but like you'll look at that
they
and you'll
can
be
get that
like,
way.
yeah, you'll look at it, dude. I'll tell you right now, Batman issue 1, not Detective Comics issue 27, his first appearance. Like just Batman issue 1 could buy you a new car.
Yeah,
It
I can
could,
believe it.
yeah, it could just buy you a car. But like when you look at some of these comics and some of them are considered rare, they'll get up to like hundreds of dollars. And you look at the date of it, you're like, this is from the 80s. This is
Yeah.
from where before I was born. So I just have it's an antique, and one is just like rare as well. It's a rare antique, is how I see them.
It was a massive craze that it never. I would say it never really took off over here in the UK. Probably until the late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, maybe even after that. Maybe even after, early noughties, late 90s, maybe that, you know. But I still don't think it's at the level here that it is in the States.
Yeah.
You know, like y'all are crazy for trying. I mean, the whole trading card thing, you know, like kicked off here with Pokemon.
Right.
You know, like that kicked off for y'all years ago with baseball cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it kind of spiraled from there. So, like, it's something that's very, very cultural to the States.
For sure. Comic books have been around. Like superhero comics have been around since probably the 30s, but comic books have been around like forever. Like
Yeah.
forever, especially in America. Like you'll have some comic strips in like newspapers.
Yeah.
Like newspapers have been around forever. So and I'm pretty sure that's kind of like where it originated from was newspapers, but comic books have kind of just been a part of American culture, I would say, for the longest time. And I guess nowadays, because everything is so digital, like the printing of comic books is kind of dying. The industry of it is kind of dying, and it makes sense because digital and all this kind of stuff. You can just look it up on YouTube if you wanted to. Like, and people can do read throughs and stuff like that. So I kind of I try to keep it old school because I just kind of respect that more than digital. And then, like I've said before, I tried digital. I read a few comics digitally, and I don't prefer it reading it that way. It's just not my cup of tea.
You wouldn't get the same feeling from it, and it's good that you prefer to try and preserve that old school, dare I say it, kind of method. Because, like, if you look at the world just now, compared to the world, say, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, like, what do we actually really own? Like, 15 years ago, I had a kick-ass DVD collection.
Yeah.
Kick-ass CD collection, kick-ass vinyl collection, right?
And then
a kick-ass Xbox 360 games collection, you know, and now it's stream all your games, stream all your movies, download or stream your games as well, actually.
Yeah.
You know, stream all your music, everything, TV shows, and it's like, wait a minute, what do we actually have? And it's nice to see that, you know, that you still want to maintain that physical, you know, that physical copy of something.
Yeah. Now I will say it does get a little cluttered. Like as I'm looking around, I have comic books literally. I got some on the floor. I got some sitting on top of boxes. I got some beside me, as I've shown you. But it does get cluttered. But I don't know, just kind of walking in here, and I do have some on the wall as well, which are, you know, really, really cool. Just kind of walking in like my room, I just like my comfort zone. I look on this wall right here. I got comics here. I got comics here. I got comics here. Just seeing all this, like, it brings me comfort, you know, it brings me joy, even with all, you know, the mess it brings as well.
It's called character and personality.
Yes.
That's what it's called, my friend. That's what it's called. So we'll wrap up with a little round of something I called Who Knew. So it's a little set of quick fire questions. They'll ask in a couple not so quick fire. So, are you ready, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Favorite ever Star Wars character?
This guy right here.
Semi-redundant question for you. Favorite original trilogy movie?
Empire Strikes Back.
Good choice. Favorite prequel movie?
Episode 3.
Sick. Favorite sequel movie?
Episode 7.
Nice. Did Greedo shoot first?
No. He did not. But apparently to George Lucas, he did.
Yep. Rogue One or Solo?
I'm going to get a lot of heat for it, but I'll stand by it. Solo.
Oh,
I'll
interesting.
stand by it.
Rebels or Clone Wars?
Clone Wars, 100%.
Favorite color lightsaber blade?
Blue.
Ooh, lovely. Favorite ever Star Wars memory?
Probably seen Revenge of the Sith in theaters. That was the first movie I saw in theaters.
Where do you think Star Wars will be in 10 years?
Just as successful it is now, if not more successful, because the thing is about Star Wars, it's been around for 40 years. Give it 10 more, it's gonna grow even more.
Couldn't disagree. And what can we expect to see from yourself going forward?
So yeah, like you said at the top of the show, Star Wars is a main thing going on in my channel right now, but I am starting to expand and do more Marvel and DC because I'm also very passionate about that. And just kind
Quite
of thinking
rightly
about
so.
and just thinking about content wise and saber wise. Sabers take a while to get in, so I need something to do in between while sabers are coming in. I think Marvel and DC doing that kind of content is perfect. So yeah, expect more Marvel and DC from me for sure.
Fantastic. Cannot wait for it then. Cannot wait for it. Carter, Mamba, dude, thank you so much for
Thank you.
taking up your time and coming and just chatting with us, man. And I really like wanted to do. I was saying to you earlier on, actually, I want to do this little kind of series. So I really want to capture a bit more kind of individuality from certain people and well, everyone in the community, really. People who want to come on, and we just really appreciate the time. So thank you so much for showing us your kind of part of your collection and telling us kind of more about you, dude. So
Yeah,
thank you. If you're
Thank you
not,
for giving me the opportunity for sure.
oh, absolutely, man, absolutely. If you're not already, guys, go and subscribe to this guy. Go and follow him on Instagram as well. He's got. If you're a Star Wars fan, you really should be subscribed to his channel. It's as simple as that. You've seen some of his collection. He is a Darth Vader nut. He is an expert. If any of us need advice or a question answered on Darth Vader, this is the guy we go to. This is why we need verification. Carter, did this happen? Yeah, cool, sweet, okay. It's true because Carter said it was true. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and may the Force be with you all.